sorry. So I'm about almost 3 miles in. Didn't record before because we kind of packed in a little bit and a lot of big climbs the first mile and a half or two. So it looks like I'm doing a race previous activity function on my Garmin because I ran this race last year. And I know it's still early in the race, but it says I'm well ahead of last year, so that's good. The only issue I'm having right now is my heart rate is pretty high. I didn't sleep very well last night, so some of that is the uphill, but on some of the downhills it just hasn't really come down that much, so I'm a little concerned about that. The only other issue, sorry, I try to keep you guys out of the sun, is the shorts over tights. It's not really uncomfortable, but because the tights are so slick, I kind of had to crank down on the drawstring so the shorts don't slide off, and that's cutting into my stomach a little bit. And I still have to keep pulling them up, so that's a little annoying. But other than that, just about to hit 3. I'm at 12:07 average pace. You know, I didn't come to any aid stations or anything like that, but last year I finished in 7 hours and 33 minutes, so it's just under 15-minute pace. So I don't expect to stay at 12:07, but if I could, I'm just doing quick math, it's like a 30-mile race. If I want to run 6:33, basically I have to take 2 minutes off my average, which seems like a lot, but again, I did stop a lot last year to warm up my hands, so I don't think I'll have to do that. I have the extra shell and I have the hand warmers, so that is helping quite a bit. So just gonna turn you guys around so you can see some of the course, and I'll check in later. Thanks, bye. We're going pretty uphill right now. Like I said, there's my watch. But from running the course last year, I know that after this mile, I think there's 2 miles of downhill. So that should help bring my average down a little bit. Alright, here's another big climb. I mean, I don't know how long it is, but it's pretty steep. My heart rate is still in the 180s, which, oops, sorry, that sucks. But yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. It's just my legs obviously feel the hills, but they're not like burning or anything. But even when it flattens out, it's like my heart rate is crazy. So okay, I am at 6.8. Just went by the first aid stations a little bit ago. I'm at 11:51 average, because there was a couple of downhills. Last year I hit one at like mid-9s and one at like 8:40 something, This year I took it a little easier. I think they're both like low 10s, or maybe one was high 9s. Just trying to conserve and be a little bit more of an even effort, especially like I said with my heart rate being as high as it is. I don't want to like max that out, so let's try. So trying to take it easy when I can, especially this early in the race. But yeah, other than my heart rate being so high, I'm feeling pretty good. I did move my phone in that big pocket of my shorts. I moved it up to my pack. I was hoping to keep the weight off my shoulders, but because of these tights, my shorts just kept slipping down, especially on the downhills. So that was pretty annoying. So it feels okay in my pack, but definitely would have preferred to stay in my shorts. I think if I was to do this again, I would just wear these shorts and like some long compression shorts, socks, I'm sorry, to avoid the slipperiness of the tights under the shorts. So this is a fairly flat section. We came down into the aid station. That was the end of the kind of couple of two downhill miles. And it was a little climb, pretty steep, but not very long. And then went right into this. So, feeling okay. Check in later. Thanks. Big climb here. But I think we're almost at the top. This should be a good view. I'm at 9.37. Pace is 12:46. So still doing okay. My legs are starting to feel a lot more now. But my hands are pretty warm still, so I'm thinking I won't have to stop as much at the halfway point where my drop bag is. So just want to grab my goose and switch out my water bottle and have some chocolate milk and keep it moving. So but I definitely wanted to show the view. Like I said, this is about mile 9.5. I've done 2,600 feet so far. So about a third of the mileage and about a third of the elevation, maybe a little less. Okay, I just passed about 15 miles. I just passed the drop bag. I was only in there for 3 minutes. Last year, I think I told you I had to switch gloves and try to warm up my hands and I was having a rough time with that. Hey, how are you? Good. Thank you. And so I had to stop a lot. This time I just switched out my water bottles. Grabbed, I think, 5 or 6 gels. And Normally I would have like a lot of chocolate milk, but I started drinking it and I felt a little chunk of something, so I didn't want to risk the milk being bad and wrecking my stomach. So on that note, I also, the first 3 or 4 gels I took about half an hour apart, but again, I wouldn't describe it as my stomach being upset. I just feel like I'm kind of burping a little bit, and like I guess it's just too much, or I just didn't want to risk it. So the last gel I spread it out to 45 minutes instead of half an hour, and then I also, like, I had a variety of gels in my drop bag, but I just grabbed the Spring Energy Awesome Sauce gels. They're like apples, like cinnamon applesauce, so they're more liquid and not as like sweet as some of the other gels. Speaking of that, one of the gels, I think it was a Cliff Shot, was pretty, I wouldn't say it was frozen, but it was pretty close. So that's why I thought maybe some of the more liquid ones would be easier to just open and get down. So anyway, use my poles here for a minute. These are there's 600 steps. It's either 600 or 800 or 900, I can't remember. But so, and it's right in the middle of the 50K, so that's what I'm doing now. Sorry. Going to the, so I've been using the race previous activity feature for my Garmin, so I could race how I did last year, and it's been interesting. I'm gonna check in with that later. I'm gonna make up these stairs. Hold on. Still going up these stairs. They're super steep. Look, a couple guys go by.
Holy moly.
Yeah. Oh, good job, guys.
You're just being kind so you can rest. Oh my god.
That's what we came up. And we're still going up. So last year I had to stop here and sit down and put my hands in my pants to warm them up. You all right? Yeah, so last year I had to sit there for a few minutes and warm up my hands because they were really cold, and I decided, like, if I couldn't get my hands warm, then I was going to go back down the stairs and to the last aid station, because it's like half a mile or so, and drop. But I was able to get it under control. This year I my left thumb is a little cold, but not bad. I can put it in the glove and warm it up. Otherwise, the only other issue I had was, I think between like 11 and 13, my stomach was really cold, like right behind where my bib is, like right in here. It's freezing, but that's gotten better too. So we're doing well. I'll check in later and tell you about the race against activity figure when I'm not going up so hard. All right. Okay, I am at 20.5. Oh my goodness, I just came to an aid station. So I've got a little road section here. They said for about a mile, and then you turn onto dirt. It's kind of downhill to the next aid station, which is about 5 miles. Oh goodness, it was a lot of big hills, so I didn't really check in at all. I think I'm at 5,400 feet so far. I think last year my watch said there was 6,900, so about 1,500 feet to go, which is deceiving because I remember last year the last 10 miles was pretty tough. So the keep mentioning the race previous activities function. It's okay. It was interesting for the first like 15 or so because like I had a gap on my last year time. I saw as much as like a 9-minute gap, and then it just kind of showed me that I was doing better on the uphills than last year. But I guess last year I kind of really bombed the downhills because when I was going downhill, that would the time the gap would get smaller. So that was interesting. And then, like I said, last year I stopped at 15 to warm up my hands, and so right before I got to the aid station, there was about a 5-minute gap, and then it dropped to like 1.5 minutes, and then it went to like 54 minutes. So I don't know why it went down to 1.5 minutes, but I think the 54 minutes was, where I'd stopped last year. So that function is pretty good right now. I think I'm about 45 minutes or so ahead. The other part of that function is it has a predicted finish time, and that's not as useful because I think what I've noticed is that that's just based on average pace, whereas you're racing against the activity, that's taking into account like all the elevation, like uphills to downhills, so that's pretty accurate. But the if my pace slows down, my estimated finish time slows down, but it's based on average pace, and it doesn't take into account that I might have some downhills coming up that'll drop my pace. So I kind of switched off that. I mean, I didn't switch it off, but I went to a different screen because this kind of stressed me out. Like it would say I was like 50 or 55 minutes ahead of last year, but my estimated finish time was only like 30 minutes ahead. So I don't think I'm gonna get 6:30. I'm hoping that I'll break 7, but we'll see how it goes. So this is the road section, not very exciting, but I'll try to check in again before the finish, but these hills are really beating me up as far as just being out of breath and not being able to really talk to the camera. So, but I'll try to remember to pull the camera out at least and show the course. But on the other hand, I am using my poles, so it's hard to hold the poles and the camera and climb up the hills. So anyway, I'll check in later. Thanks. Thanks so much. Thanks, man.
Yeah, very good job.
Thank you so
If you
much.
didn't get your shirt, see Cody. Looks like Alicia, great. Get down by the way. Yeah, you were.
Well, that was disappointing. So last time I checked in, it was just after mile 20, at aid station, and I was on that road section. After that, there was like a 5-mile downhill, like unrelenting, just downhill the whole way to the next aid station, and so it kind of get old after a while. I mean, I was able to drop some time in that section, maybe not compared to last year, but compared to my pace up to that point. And then kind of a couple of little climbs, and then there's a climb at like 26 for about a mile, and then it kind of flattened out, and then from mile 27 and a half all the way to 29 was just, I don't know, 1,500 feet, just up and up and up, and you know, you go around a corner and it's still going up. So and then after that there were some like steep downhills, and that was really annoying. So I just kind of mentally fell out of it. I ran a 7:10. I was hoping to, well, originally I was hoping to get 6:30, and then I was hoping to get under 7, but I just the hills just got to me, both up and down, and more obviously it was hard. It was really hard, but also mentally it was hard, because it was just like, oh my god, can you just have like some variation here instead of just this monotonous uphill climb or downhill. And you know, the last mile and a half was downhill, but it was really steep, so you couldn't pick up time. In fact, I think my last mile and a half pace was like 15 or 16 minutes, just stairs, and there was you know, it was steep downhill, and just kind of roots and stuff like that. So yeah, not that happy about this. Like I said, last year I ran 7:33, but I had to stop to warm up my hands. So I was only 20 minutes faster than last year, but I feel like with throwing in that time that I stopped, I basically ran the same time as I did last year, which is kind of annoying because I've been training a lot better, more consistently this year. So I don't know. I mean, I do know that some of the downhills I really attacked last year, and this year I you know, was trying to make my pace a little more even, but I guess that didn't work out as a good strategy. So, and then I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but my first like 4 or 5 gels I was taking about every half an hour, and then I cut it back to every 45 minutes, all the way up to the 6:15 mark. And then, well, no, I was supposed to take one at 6:15. I just didn't, because you know, my stomach was kind of you know, so I did have, like, I think this is tailwind, and so I was sipping on that, try to get some calories. Sorry, I thought the screen shut off. I thought the camera stopped. Trying to get some calories and some carbohydrates, and then at the 25-mile aid station, I filled this with water because this had scratch in it, I think, or maybe it was reversed, but I emptied it out, so I just filled it with water. So that's all water for the last 5 or 6 miles. So yeah, I don't know if I'll do this race again. I like it that it's challenging, but it's kind of annoying. The downhills are just really long, the uphills are just really long, and you know, it's not like you can make up time in the downhills towards the end. It's in the beginning you can, and there's a couple of spots in the middle, but the last, if you look like you're close to your goal, like at the 25-mile mark, you're probably not gonna hit it because there's lots of uphills, and then the downhills are just too technical to make up time. So anyway, so maybe I'll check in later, but yeah, 7:10 43. So like I said, well, I guess it's last year in 7:33, so 23 minutes. But I feel like at least 10 of that was not having to stop. So anyway, I gotta figure it out. Losing more weight, and I don't know, doing more hills, I guess. I don't know, but I gotta figure it out. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Thanks.